Hey everybody, hopefully people can join in and see this. I'm gonna tag some friends here so people can join in. We'll see. Okay. So anyways, yes, I just wanted to say hi to everyone and thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I'm sitting here in my... Hey Jenny, hey Mackenzie, hey Autumn. I'm so glad you guys could watch. I'm here in my room hanging out at the James, and looks like Caitlin and Daniel just came in. Hey Kenzie, love you back. And up at the James here, I'm on the 15th floor. So if it was light outside right now, you could see this awesome view of the stadium. I wonder if I can turn my camera around. Let's see here. Oh no, you can mostly just see me, so hi. But right here, like at this part of the screen is where Ohio Stadium is. But so I have a pretty cool view there. I did get my bone marrow biopsy today, and I started chemo. So I got 2 different types of chemo today. Wow, look at all these people showing up. Okay, hey. You can see my pick line here. It's covered by this awesome shirt that my mom gave me that basically functions as a gown so that, you know, I don't have to try to take on and off a shirt. So, hey Lauren, hey Joe, hey Jennifer, Amy, Sarah, thanks everyone for getting on. Don, Lauren, oh wow, lots of people are on. Hey you guys, great to see you. I've loved watching the snow all day. This morning it looked like, I don't know if any of you know Silent Hill outside, or Silent Hill the movie or video game, but it looked like Silent Hill with all the fog. So hey Don, hey Jen, thank you so much for praying for us. I do really appreciate that. My family, though, is a little bit crazy. So here's, you can see some of my delicious dinner food. Yum, yum. Hey, Les, thanks for joining. But then literally my entire couch is filled up with gifts from my family. So you guys are the best. You've been super supportive. Aunt Sally today sent this lovely candy bouquet because you can't send like real flowers into the James. Hi, Erin. Hi, Caroline. And then Caitlin's mom so graciously bought me this like amazing, hey, I love you too, Les. Amazing Dyson fan here. That's a pretty chunk of change, but it like measures air quality in the room all the way down to 2.5 particulate matter. So like things like dust and allergens are at like right around 10 particulate matters. My mom got me a wonderful, wow, I can't remember what these are called. Scarves. That's the word. Scarves. I've got snacks. Snacks for days. Gatorade. Dirty laundry for days. Who wants to do my dirty laundry for me? Cards from the people I love most in my life. This is from my best friend Leah. This is from my wonderful sister-in-law, Kenzie. Got stuff from my mom and dad, drawings from my niece and nephew. And then this here is our adventure book. Sorry, I'm already eating these Swedish fish here. From like our wedding. Ooh, I will show them the Yoda. So, like you can see, this was from our wedding, and we have people do the photos, the little like instant Polaroids, and then write messages so I can go back and look at all of our fun times. So that's been super helpful. I got some cookies that were sent from actually a time that me and Caitlin were up helping someone in the hospital, and then a few weeks later, here I am. But you do need to see, essentially, this is my little friend who rides around with me, and I blame him for any trouble that happens. It's little baby Yoda for any of you that know the series, The Mandalorian. So this is my pole. And then I've got just a regular bag here, and then this is one of the bags that is continuous. So to treat, yes, we love him too, Caroline. Yoda on wheels, he's trouble, so I just wheel him around and whoop whoop. These are all my wonderful people that I've been working with today. This is where you track output. TMI maybe, but that's where you put how much you're going to the bathroom. I'm still independent. Thank you for praying for us, Alex. I appreciate that. And yes, Jenny, you're right. Grogu is his name, but these are my daily goals here. Oh, I can't turn that while I'm recording. Okay, so you can see, so for my type of cancer, acute myeloid leukemia, they do this type of treatment that's called 7+3, which means they do 7 days of one and 3 days of another, but they run consecutively. So these are the two types here. And then this one, the Cytar, what is this called? Cytarabine. The cytarabine runs for 7 days straight, all around the clock. And then basically you get off of it here, and really they say that it's like an upside down bell curve. So my immune system goes down, 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 and kind of hits bottom between day 12 to like day 14. And they call that nadir. So, and that's like the absolute bottom. And so this whole week they say you'll feel your worst. A lot of people say they feel like they're hit by a truck. And then kind of around here, you start feeling better because your immune system's building itself back up. So, but I still have to walk around to get out of the bed, shower. So no matter how exhausted I am, those are tasks they want me to still do. So, but yeah, here's their workstation on wheels. They got a whole bunch of my drugs and stuff stashed in there. None of the good stuff, though, of course. And I'll show you my hallway. So my whole wing is actually only acute leukemia patients. So this is their like specialization. There's the nurse's station. There's people hanging out. Boom. So yeah, this is my room. I've got a lovely walk-in shower. You'll get the full tour here. Whoop whoop. There's the hat where they collect the pee in the toilet. This is my shower. Fun stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty much the whole tour there of the place. I just really wanted to get on and be able to talk to people who I haven't, gotten really a chance to talk to, because there's been so many people who have just supported us. We've gotten up to like 3,000 on the GoFundMe, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And everyone buying the like Evans Army shirts are amazing, and my sister did a great job making those shirts. So I'm really excited to get one. But so now I'm hanging out here in my bed. So yeah, everyone. There's a lot of people have gotten on. Exciting stuff. But But most often what people want to know is, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And really, like I truly am feeling good, because when I came in, I felt really, really, really awful. Gotta get some water. And so then they gave me this drug called like Hydrea, which brings my white blood cell count down so that I'm not having all these blast cells in my spleen, which is why I originally came in. And that was the thing that gave me that abdominal pain that just cued me to come into the hospital, and thank goodness I listened to it. So, because they said I would have just died a few weeks later if I would have just tried to tough it out. So yeah, I just really wanted to come and say hey to all of you guys and say thank you guys so much for supporting us. You've been awesome supporters. My family's been amazing. My wife has been crazy strong throughout all this, even though she feels like she hasn't. Hey, Cindy, good to see you there. Enjoy. Emily, thank you guys so much for joining. But yeah, I really do feel like I got this, and I know that there's going to be days that suck, but, you know, they said it can feel like you're getting run over by a truck on some of those days, and if all I have to do to get home is get run over by a truck, like, that's going to be the most attractive truck that I've ever seen. So, because there's nothing more in the world right now that I want than to be home with my friends and family. So, thanks, Emily. I'll definitely reach out if I'm lonely. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, bring on the truck, let's do it, because if you're going through hell, you just got to keep going, right? And so I'm excited to get to where I can finally see my wife again and see my fur kids, and hopefully work on my family. We were able to get exciting news with our fertility stuff, that we got enough vials. We got more than enough attempts now than we thought we were going to get and want. So that's really exciting and a big light for me, because family. Sorry, I'm reading Caroline's comment. Caroline, if your nurses ever mean to you, let us know. We'll make sure they straighten up. No, the nurses here have been absolutely amazing. I mean, I couldn't say a single bad thing about them. They've been just so amazing. The care here has been top notch. My doctors have been patient. I mean, they literally come in and sit with me for hours if I need it, to talk about what's going on. So, but yeah, shout out to Captain Connor of the sperm transport team. Yeah, Connor helped out to help get my samples down there. So, we're really excited that Caitlin and I get to have a family in the future, even if things, go south in the fertility realm, right? But all we can do is hope for the best and plan for the worst, right? And so that's what we're going to do. So it's been, I'm not going to lie, it hasn't been all, rainbows and butterflies, right? When I first got the diagnosis, I just called my mom and my sister and my wife, just bawling and telling them how scared I was, because at the beginning of this, they just tell you likely have blood cancer, but they don't know what type it is, so you have no idea what your prognosis is. And, and I got really lucky that with acute myeloid leukemia, I have an 80% chance of going into remission after the first try. And, if you were ever in a casino, right, that's the table that everyone would be gambling at, right? 80% odds. So I feel pretty good about that. But even if it doesn't work the first time, there's still second, third, fourth line treatments. So the most favorable thing that could happen from here is that after this And Babe, maybe you can remind me if I can't remember if it's induction and then consolidation. I think it's induction chemo is what I'm doing now, and then the most favorable outcome would be I would get to do consolidation chemo, which involves like 4 visits later on in the future. And then that could potentially be curative to me. If you stay in remission for 5 years, the odds that you're cured are extremely, extremely high. So yeah, we're definitely kicking cancer's ass here and kicking ass, taking names. But like, the second thing then most favorable would be like bone marrow donation, and then the third most favorable would be like a stem cell transplant. But really the biggest hurdle right now that we're waiting for is basically like pathology, which means that like my leukemic cells, those blast cells, they have mutations. And so in order to know your full prognosis, you have to know what types of mutations are happening. And so, like, there's certain mutations that are more favorable and some that are less favorable, but like most of them would just add on an adjunct type of chemotherapy. So yeah, it is induction, consolidation, and then cure, hopefully. Oh, look, Alexis jumped on. Yay. Joan, thank you guys so much for jumping on and watching. So many people. But yeah, so basically I'll have that first shot at chemo. So the 7-3 is what it's called. So those 7 days of continuous plus the 3 days at the beginning, so running consecutively of the other chemo. And then they wait till day 14 to see where are the leukemic cells in my bone marrow. So if they're down to like 5% or less, that's where they want them to be before they would move to like a consolidation chemotherapy, which could potentially be curative. And then if the induction or if the consolidation therapy is not, then they can move into other things to also try to be curative. So induction, consolidation, cure. Those are like the 3 overviews of what's going to happen. So again, we just really so much wanted to thank you guys for all your support. And, people have brought my wife meals, and, because she's home alone with COVID. And by the grace of God, somehow I was home with her for all those days that she had COVID and I didn't get it. We just had another negative COVID screening yesterday morning. And so that was a big deal, right? Like it would be very, very bad to have leukemia and have COVID. And so if I did, then we'd have to look at like the remdesivir treatments and stuff. But I'm out of isolation now because of my 3rd negative COVID test since I've been here. It's my 6th negative COVID test this month. So I got honestly, really lucky, or, if you believe in miracles, it was very miraculous. So, because that made it a lot easier to start chemotherapy today, and I got it now. And so far I don't feel, sick or anything, but they give you like those pre-meds. Yeah, that's right, Jessica. But then God, yeah. They give you those pre-meds to help you stay like calm and not get sick. But really they say about like a week out is when you can really start like feeling things, which is weird because that's actually when chemotherapy has stopped at that point. So yeah. So yes, I think that's pretty much all I've got, unless people have any questions. Happy to answer them. I'm so glad to see Jessica got on and Alexis is on. I mean, there's so many people here that I love. I just can't thank you guys enough for your support. So thanks for tuning in, Michelle, and thank you guys for tuning in. I really just wanted to say hey and thank you please keep sharing our GoFundMe page. Please, if you haven't bought t-shirts for Evan's Army, please do that as well. I mean, every little bit counts, and it's super encouraging to me to know that, like, you know, we'll have the means so that Caitlin and I can start a family, because that, like, you know, those fertility treatments after this are not inexpensive. And both Caitlin and I consider it a calling to be parents. So, you know, we really want to have kids and to be able to raise them well. So, anyways. Josh. Oh, hi, Mallory. Thank you and Josh so much for tuning in. I hope you guys were able to order some Evan's Army shirts. They look awesome. And again, really, please donate anything you can to our GoFundMe, because like I said, all that Caitlin and I have ever wanted to be, honestly, in life, are parents. And so that is that's our goal here, is to be able to pay for those really expensive fertility treatments later in life. So, oh, thank you guys. Your comments are so nice. Geez, I'm going to get on and do this more often. You guys are so much fun. Going to be the best parents. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Jenny, for your kind words and comments. Next time, maybe I can get Caitlin on here. She wasn't feeling it today. You know, I think we're both just getting to the point where we're emotionally exhausted, and because it's been a lot of information. And, you know, it's pretty crazy, right? When your life... Like, I literally walked into the James or to the emergency room thinking by 10 p.m. I'd be going home, and because it would just be something related to COVID. Like, hey, here's some headache medication and here's some fluids, right, to get you back up. But nope, they came out and they grabbed me after like 2.5 hours of sitting in the waiting room. And when they did that, I realized that they were taking me before other people who had been sitting there for like 4 or 5 hours. So I was like, ooh, this is really weird. But I followed the guy back, and then when I got back there, like, everyone that was coming in was like really somber. So I was thinking in my head, oh, this can't be good. And then like the nurse practitioner came in and was like, hey, I just have to let you know that your like white blood cell count was through the roof. You know, it was up over 100,000, which is crazy high. And right now it's back down to 12,000. So they've done a great job of controlling that. But like, she walked in and was like, hey, your white blood cell's high, your platelets are low. Oftentimes those can be indicative of blood cancers. And so we're calling like a hematologist to get them to come look at it. And so they did, but they were like, but it could be other things. We just don't know yet. We don't have anything definitive. And honestly, in my head, I was like, bullshit. Everyone in this room being so somber, like, I can read the writing on the walls. I know what this has to be. And so the hematologist, Dr. Mims, came in and confirmed that she saw like leukemic cells. And that was terrifying. I just didn't expect that. And, you know, once they had pulled me back and told me, hey, Dr. Mims confirmed that it is this likely an acute leukemia, I mean, literally everything in the room moved so fast. Like, there was a team taking a chest x-ray before I even knew that I was getting a chest x-ray. And then I was on an EKG machine, and that took forever for them to get. The ER actually bruised me with their, like, blood pressure cuff here. So you can see some of these, like, dots and stuff. They're called... Oh gosh, I just forgot the word. Petechas, something like that, but they're micro hemorrhaging. So, and you can see in my eye here, maybe you can see some of that red. And that was like a micro hemorrhaging in my eye. And some other things we had noticed beforehand was that like I had went and gotten a dental cleaning, and basically my gums weren't healing after the cleaning, and they weren't stopping bleeding. Like I would brush my teeth and they'd like reopen and rebleed, and I had no idea why. But like Caitlin had also noticed a micro hemorrhaging in my eye. She didn't know that that's what it was at the time. So they had me back in this room and everyone was somber, and then Dr. Mims confirmed that it was acute leukemia, and so she's like, you're gonna be in the hospital for probably at least the next 3 weeks, and potentially more. So like I went from thinking I was going home 10 a.m. that night to, hey, okay, now I'm going to be in the hospital for weeks. But I'm thinking like, but my wife has COVID and she's home alone. So like, who is going to be taking care of her? And then at the same time, my wife's at home going, well, wait, Evan's going to be alone at the hospital. They have the no visitor policy. They had just reinstituted it because the COVID numbers were off. And the day that, sorry, my family has like a group text happening up here, and now they're saying crazy stuff to just try to throw me off. And it worked because I totally forgot what I was talking about. But they were just like, hey, you're going to be here for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And it's potentially 4 to 6 weeks now, just depending on the way like chemotherapy goes. So, but yeah, Kelly, sometimes blood pressure cuffs do just bruise you. I think my mom's doing well. I think it's probably, honestly, for probably most of the people in my life, it's harder for them to be them right now than it is for me to be me, because I'm here. I have a team of people looking out for me 24/7, getting everything I need. And I'm feeling so much better because I just was so sick for the past month. Like I was just exhausted all the time, and I had no idea why. I thought like, well, maybe it's depression, something like that. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm burning out at my counselor job. Because, counseling during COVID has been crazy, but like, COVID has turned everything upside down, because when I got here to the ER, all 100 rooms in the Ohio State ER were full. No rooms. And that just blew my mind. And I was in an expansion lobby. So I wasn't even in the regular lobby. I was like into the James Cancer Center, like out in this little lobby they built. So that's just how many people have been coming in with COVID symptoms. And like the ICU is filled up, and they cannot keep staff. Like here, I'm really lucky because the oncology units are in a bubble. They don't take COVID clients because, right, if you're in for oncology stuff, you're probably immunocompromised because you're getting chemotherapy. So there's no COVID patients here that I need to worry about. And my whole floor is all acute leukemia. So that's like their thing. This is what they do. This is what they study. Dr. Mims, Dr. Larkin, they've all published these studies, like, tons of them just about research, and it's kind of crazy to me that this type of cancer has gotten to the point where it could be curable. So yeah, Caitlin's saying I was in the James from the beginning, because really the room they took me to, I think, was a room in the James. And then they moved me up to like the 15th floor of the James Hospital. But like Dr. Mims specifically got called in that night to come see me. And so she like walked in, with her purse and and everything, and her phone was like still not on silent, and so it rang, and it was just really funny because I was like, oh wow, you came like especially to see me. And she just joked around about like, oh well, you know, I did come in just to see you, but she's like, you know, this is what I do for my job, and I love my job. And so Dr. Mims was super patient and extremely kind. Like, she was definitely the kind of doctor you would want to like smooth you in to this process, because she was just like very soft spoken and like, oh yeah, like that's a good question, like let me answer that for you. And so, you know, she's got that like wonderful, like, I don't know, like I think of like Ocean Waves voice, where it's like, oh yeah, oh hi Lauren, hi Aiden, my nephew said hi to me. I love that kiddo, I miss him so much. I miss Reagan, I love her too. But yeah, and so then they moved me up to the 15th floor of the James, and once I got up here, you know, that's when we started to get some more answers, because they, you know, this is their realm, and this is, you know, this is where they do their stuff. So today is officially day 1 of chemotherapy for me. If you want to do something to help, I know right now what you can do to help is go donate blood and or specifically platelets. There is a severely critical shortage of platelets right now. So like last night they were going to give me an infusion of platelets, but it just wasn't available for someone whose numbers were still as good as mine. I wish they served us champagne here, but they don't. So if you really want to help, please, you know, give to our GoFundMe, buy an Evans Army shirt that are wonderful that my sister made for me, or please go donate platelets, because there's such a critical shortage right now that it is and has interrupted people's treatment. But that's because of COVID, right? People are scared to go out and donate blood, but like they do have safety precautions in place. And so we really need people to get out there and donate platelets, because there's people here who haven't been able to get the platelets that they need. And luckily I'm not at that place yet, but I also know that there's potential that I could be at that place. And so, right, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm also going to plan for the worst. So I'm encouraging you guys all to go out and donate. Because even the regular blood helps. You don't have to just to give platelet donations. I think they might be able to convert regular donations to platelet. I don't really know. If anyone knows, let me know. But they desperately need blood as well too. So, the one thing I didn't explain about this is, so the reason why they keep someone with acute leukemia in the hospital throughout their whole treatment is because basically what they're doing is they're nuking my bone marrow. So they're basically destroying my immune system, because right now my immune system is being outcompeted by the leukemic cells. They're doing free COVID antibody testing with blood donations, so that's nice. So if you want to find out if you've had COVID, go give blood. So yeah, I just lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? I don't really know anymore. Giving blood, something, but that's okay. That's okay. I really just wanted to get on here and, you know, be able to show my face and let people know, that I'm doing okay. Like, I am doing well. I'm handling this well mentally. You know, I've felt the gamut of emotions for sure. Yeah, right. Probably chemo brain. that, the drugs they're giving me makes it harder to keep a train of thought. So I'm staying in the hospital because I'm guessing this is a question from Aiden, but I'm staying in the hospital because I have a acute leukemia, which just means there's some cells in my blood that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so they're being a bit of a bully right now, and they're kind of beating up why I was talking about why I'm staying in the hospital. Thank you for that. I see what you're saying. They kept me here because when you have acute myeloid leukemia, basically they nuke all of your bone marrow, and so you basically lose your immune system, because up until that point, my blast cells are what they're called, those leukemic type cells, which are really just immature blood cells. So they oftentimes go on to become, red blood cells or white blood cells or platelets, something like that. Yes, thank you for helping, Lauren. And so they keep you here because basically they literally destroy your immune system. And then when you're at your lowest point, which is called the nadir point, which is hilarious because it makes me think of Ralph Nader, but that's just because I'm a politics geek. When you're there, then you have no immune system, but it's at that point that they're hoping that your regular immune system then starts out competing. Sorry, Nick, I can't start over. Starts out competing the regular. They're hoping that your regular immune system starts out competing the blast cells. So basically, they have to build my white blood system, my immune system back up from nothing. And so there's an 80% chance of success with this chemo working the first time and putting me into remission, which is the point of where they're I think less than 5% blast cells. And so once they do that, then they'll come back and we have to evaluate which way is the best way to go. So because potentially there's this type of therapy called consolidation, which is just chemotherapy, and that could potentially put me into a cured state. So I may not have to get a bone marrow donation, but the likelihood is that a large amount of people do have to get bone marrow donations. So that would be the second most favorable outcome. And then the third most favorable is needing a stem cell transplant. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned a little bit about leukemia today. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for just tuning in and for all the support and the love. It's helped me stay joyful in a dark time. And it's great to know we're not doing this alone. And so, again, I'll tell you the 3 ways you can help right now are donate to our GoFundMe, because that's going to help Caitlin and I be parents, and go buy the Evans Army shirts, and and Be The Match. BeTheMatch.com is the bone, the bone marrow donor registry. So if you go on to BeTheMatch.com, you can sign up to be a bone marrow donor yourself. And so every person that's in there, it just gives us better and better chance of finding someone who's a match. So right now, if I needed it, I'd have a 70% chance of success of finding a 100% match in the bone marrow registry. And that is because I am a white male. They tend to have the best results in the bone marrow registry. So yeah, join the Be The Match registry, and you can help save someone's life. Maybe it's mine, but maybe it's someone else's. And then the fourth thing is to go out and donate blood and platelets right now. even just giving blood during COVID can be scary. So I understand, but if you can safely do that, do that. And for the be the match thing, all you have to do is you just swab on the inside of your cheek, so it's a super easy thing to do. So anyways, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me ramble over here. You guys have been such a great support system, so hopefully you guys can get out there and do something to make your world a little bit better today. So thank you guys so much. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.